Hey guys, it's me Hero Forever, and today I'm bringing you guys another tutorial video. Today will be on Roblox and how to create your own vehicle on Roblox in 2021. Now, creating vehicles on Roblox does take a little bit of practice, and it does take a little bit of patience to go and learn everything, but once you do, it's pretty easy to do. And I'll also be showing you guys how you can go and modify it and configure it to the way that you want. For example, how far apart the wheels are, if you want it to be front, rear, or all-wheel drive. I'll also show you how you can go make it faster, how many gears you want to go and add on to it. You can change all of that type of stuff on it. So that way you can go and have it to your preference and it can be just the way you want it. So like I said, I'll go and give you a complete walkthrough. I'll go and explain some stuff for you, and I'll try and make it as easy as I can. So let's go and get right into it. So the very first thing you're going to want to go and do to start off this tutorial is by going into the description of this video. It should be the very first link at the top, and you're going to go and click on it, and it'll go and take you to this page where you can go and buy or purchase. It'll say something like that. You can go and get this vehicle creator Hero Forever parentheses on it. Alright, so once you get that model, what you're going to do is you're going to hit the create tab, and that'll take you to this page right here where you can hit my creations, games, create new game. And then make sure it says base plate, and if you want to go and name it, you can. And then you hit create game. It'll take a minute to go and create it, and then you're going to hit edit, and it should take you into base plate. If you've done everything correctly so far, this is what you should see right now, just a big base plate, not really anything on it. What you're going to want to do to start with is go to the model tab, and then you're going to go and pull up a spawn. It's right over here underneath the gameplay, actually on top. And just go and make sure that's there. You can go and anchor it. So now it's anchored, so that's going to be where you spawn at when you go and test out the game. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go to the home tab, hit toolbox, and then make sure you're in the inventory one. It's the second one with the 4 little squares. Go to my models, and this is what it should bring up right here. You should see the vehicle creator Hero Forever. Just click on that once and it'll import it into the game. And then you're going to go back to the home tab. Make sure you have this selected. You can drag it around if you want and put it where you want it. And make sure you have it anchored. And that's right on top of the edit area. And then once you have it anchored, what you can do is you can hit the play button, which is easy to find if you hit the test. Then go and hit play. And then it's going to load you in, and it's going to look like you're joining an actual game, but it's all by yourself in this testing area. And then just walk somewhere into the car, and you should notice it puts you in here. It brings up all of this information. I have it automatically set to automatic transmission just to make it easier for you guys. Hit the engine on button. You can turn the wheels. Just make sure everything works and make sure you can smoothly turn. So right now we basically have the actual driving part of the car finished, but what we want to do now is we're going to first go and make the body and make it how we want it, and then once we have everything put in place, what we're going to do is we can configure it, modify it, add on whatever we want. We can make it a manual transmission, and that's where we can really customize our car. But for now, we just want to make sure that the actual driving part works. Alright guys, so this is the part of the tutorial where it gets a little bit time consuming and sometimes annoying. So what you're going to want to do is go and select your car, or the model you have now anyways, and you're going to hit driver seat. Make sure you have both Explorer and Properties open. Go to transparency, put it to 0. That helps a little bit when you're beginning, just so you know which way the direction of the car is facing. Where you see this little motor piece right here, that's which way your car is facing. So I'm going to turn it around by clicking on the model, then hitting Control R just to flip it 90 degrees at a time. So now once you have it faced the way you want it, it doesn't really matter, but I just want to make sure that you guys know which way your car is actually going. You're going to go and copy it by clicking on the model, then hitting Control D, and that'll give you another one. You can't really tell until you move it, but it copies it over. And now you're going to go to the Home tab, go to Scale, and now what you can do is put your studs at 100. I'm going to go exact. Usually I just make it big, but I'll go exact for this tutorial. Then you're going to hit the green thing, and then you're going to go up by 100 studs, and it should look something like this, if not exactly like this. And you're just going to move it to where you want it. So now we have a bigger model of what this is down here. And the reason we're doing this is so we can get the little details as we're building the body. Now that your vehicle looks something like this right here, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the model tab, hit part, place part, and now what we want to do is drag it to the very top of the wheel. It can be any wheel, it doesn't really matter at all. And then we're going to go right here, put it down, and we're going to make a box that covers up this entire wheel right here. Then we're going to put it all the way at the end over here as well. Make sure it covers up most of the wheel. It doesn't have to be exact, no big deal at all. Just hit Control and then drag, and that goes in and makes it center to the middle when you go and change the size. Make sure it goes all the way to the back like this, and then once it looks something like this, you're going to hit Control and then click again, and you're going to expand it to where it goes about halfway out to the end, if that makes sense. Like half of a wheel out past the wheel. You're going to duplicate by hitting Control D on this part you have now. Then you're going to hit Control, drag it in until it's about a third of a wheel inside. So now it should look like this. You can make it go out a little bit past the end of the wheel. Now you're going to hit Control D again, move this part all the way back here. So it's about 1/3 of the wheel, or half the wheel past. Not a huge deal, like I said. It doesn't have to be exact, we're just using this for scaling. And now you're going to hit this part, hit Control D. Now you have another piece that's the same exact size as that. Go right here, put it at this end now. And now it should look just like this. And if you want to go and confirm to make sure both of the sides are the same, because that kind of does matter in the end, you can fill up this side and then make sure it's about the same size as this side, which it looks like this side's actually a little bit too big. Now your car should look something a little bit like this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit the model or the car wheels. We're going to go and click on it and then hit backspace, and that deletes all of it right there. And now we're left with the frame of the car which we just created. And this gives us kind of the idea of where the wheels go, so we can't really build inside of this area. So we're just going to go and leave that alone, and we can go and build around it. And this is the part where you can start building your own car. Alright, so we have now reached the point of the tutorial where we are going to be building the actual body of the car. And if you know what you're doing, then you can just go and skip a couple minutes ahead into the video to where I go and teach you guys how to connect the body onto the actual driving part of the car. But if you guys have never created a body to a car before, I will go and give you a couple of hints and tricks right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a piece of, well, a part, and you're going to size it up to about the size of how big you think the car is going to be. And then you're going to put it down here, and it's going to look kind of like this, so it's just a wall right there. And now what you can do is you can go on Google and search up any car that you want, and you're going to see side views of it, top views, bird eye views. Just go and Google all of it, and it'll show you exactly what it looks like, and you're going to use that as kind of like a frame of reference. Alright, so I've actually already done this, and what I chose for a car is the Audi R8 V10 Plus. And this, I think this is actually the same exact picture I used too. So what you're going to do is find the car you want, make sure you have a side view of it, and then you're going to go and find it on Google, and then you're going to save it onto your computer. Once you have a reference picture that you want to go and use, go back to Studio, and then you're going to go into the toolbox again, go to Images, and then just choose any image, and you're going to hold that down and put it onto the plate. And we're just using that because it does some stuff for us. And now if you go on it and click on the box, hit decal, and then you're going to see something in the properties box that says texture. You're going to hit the texture button, do add image, and then you're going to select the picture from your desktop or picture wherever you stored the picture, and you're just going to copy it onto there. And now it's creating, and now it's going to give me something that looks like that, but that's obviously not too accurate in scale. So we're going to put it down to approximately the size it would be in real life. Maybe something like that. I'm not quite sure. Put it down a little bit. Right here. Now we're going to scale it up some. And you can see that the wheels are a little bit different for sizes. And that's fine, because what we can actually do now is move this back. Move this to right here. Right here. We're going to still give it a little bit of space. We're going to move this right here. And we're just going to scale it up with the picture. And you can do it with any. Now I'll go to right here. And I'm going to get rid of this. And you can see that I scaled it up really well with the picture. So now what I could do is I could build around it. Alright, so right here you can see this is a car that I already built, but I did build it at this size, even though realistically it's just going to be down there at that little thing. and I'm still working on it a little bit. As you can tell, it doesn't look finished, but it does look okay. For Roblox, this is actually pretty decent. But anyways, now that you have the body of your car built, what you can do is scale it down. And if it doesn't let you scale it down anymore, there's a couple things that might have went wrong. So one, you might have your studs, the stud value up at a very high number, like 10 or something. But you're going to want to turn that down as low as you can. I'm just doing 0.25 because I already know it's low enough. So then you're going to scale it down until it's about the size of the wheels. Move it down here, and you can see that this actually fits mine perfectly because I already built it. But let's say that it didn't fit perfectly and I wanted it to fit a little bit better on the car. First, I'm going to try and get it lined up as best as I can. So that looks pretty good. It's about equal on this side. This side's still a little bit off. So it's inside on that side, inside on there. And now I can lower it down a little bit. And I'm going to keep it down there because it still has to be able to turn. So once we have it like that, you can see that the back ones, they fit pretty well on the car. But the front wheels, you can see that they're going into the back right here and they need to be moved up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Model, hit View, Explorer, and Property tab open. And we're going to go down to Wheels, Front L, which is front left, and front right. And we're going to move that up to where we need it to be. And for this, what I'm going to do actually is turn it down to 0.05 because it needs to be a little bit different, I think. I'm going to select everything, then deselect the wheels, and I'm going to group the entire body together so it's all one piece. So I'm able to take it off or leave it. And now I'm left off with something that looks a little bit like this. So I'm going to make sure it's all anchored. And then I can go in here, hit the driver's seat, and I can move it to where I want. This usually takes a couple tries to get it exactly where you want it. I'm going to move it on the left side a little bit more, move it down probably to about right here, and then I'll put the transparency value at 1 again. And this is what I'm left with right here. And now you're going to probably wonder, how do I actually get this connected so the wheels detect that this is part of the car so it can move? You're going to hit the vehicle creator, aka the model right here, and then you're going to go down to the body. Make sure you just know where the body is. And then you're going to get the model that is the body of the car. I'm just going to name it Car Model Hero Forever. And then I'm going to grab the body model right here, and I'm going to put it into the body. And that should be it right there. So now what we can do is, I'm going to move it over here closer to spawn, make sure it's all anchored, and I'm going to hit play. And once we get into the game, you can see it's all loading up right now. I'm going to jump in here, hit engine on, make sure the wheels turn and nothing collides with each other. That might take you a couple times to get down so it's all sized up and the wheels are where they should be. Now you can go and try it out. And like I said, I have this in automatic right now, but I'll go and show you how you can change it to manual. And right now you can see it actually drives pretty good. I feel like it's drifting a little bit more than it needs to, so what's happening when I turn, the wheels are probably hitting somewhere inside of the actual body of the car. So that's probably all that's going on right there, and I can go and readjust the wheels until I don't notice a little bit of like a weirdness when I drive. So hopefully your car works okay. If it doesn't, just go and mess around with the settings a little bit. Make sure nothing's blocking the wheels and the body is inside of the body part of the car, which is in the vehicle creator. And if it's still not working, chances are there's something that's getting in the way of the wheels actually turning. So just go through that. Okay guys, so if you made it this far in the video, now I'm going to go and show you guys how you can customize the car and basically choose the way you want it to be able to drive. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the model, which is vehicle creator, open that up and hit the very first script you see, and it should bring up this right here. So what I'm going to first show you guys how to do is I'm going to first show you guys how to change the speed for the gears. So go down to right here, it's about halfway down the page. It says gear ratios. If you can't find it, then let's say you're all the way up here, hit Control F and type in gear ratios, and it brings you to this point right here. and each of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this represents a gear. If we wanted to, we could add in an 8th one. So enter, then copy and paste. I'm going to hit tab just to make it all even. And then for the 8th gear, we're going to change that to an 8 real quick. And then we could change it down to 0.26. And the lower the number is, the faster the car will go for that gear. So it is exponentially too. So going from 5.65 to 4.65 is a lot smaller of a difference opposed to 1.33 to 0.33 because it's exponentially, which means 1 to 2, like this 1.5 of a difference in between these two gears might only be like 20 studs per second difference. But the difference, if you went from the same exact change in numbers, but you applied it to one of these numbers down here that's a little bit lower, it would be hundreds of studs different. So just keep that in mind because it is exponentially. So the bigger the number, the slower it goes. The smaller the number, the faster it goes. And then from here, if you scroll up a little bit, you're going to go and see the drivetrain. And if you can't find that, once again, just go and search it up. Drivetrain, it'll take you right there. And you can pick on front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, or all wheel drive. And I have it all wheel drive because it's just a little bit better overall, I think, and it stops it from drifting. If you're making a drift car, you might want to go and have it be a rear wheel drive, and it will actually change the way that the car drives. So I recommend you do go and mess around with that a little bit if you want. And then the final thing I'll be showing you guys how to go and configure on your car is the transmission. Once again, if you don't know where it's at, just search it up by hitting Control F, then typing it in. And you'll see right here, transmission. Like I said earlier in the video, when you download this, it's going to be put into automatic because that's how I set it up for you guys, or it should be anyway. So if it isn't, then I guess it's already different for you. But what you can do is change it to either auto, semi, or manual. I prefer this right here because all you have to do is hit Q and E to go up or down in gears. In automatic, what's going to happen is if you hit W, it's going to automatically switch gears, which means you can go 0 to 100 or however fast I put this car at, and it's just going to go straight ahead on its own just by holding down the W and S. But if you put it in semi, the first gear, it's not going to change gears on its own. So it's going to stay in neutral until you hit E, then it'll put it in first gear, and then it'll go as fast as it can in first gear. For example, I think it's 14 studs per second, and it's not going to go faster than that until you hit E, which changes the gear to second gear, and then I think that's like 25 studs per second I put it at, or 30. So then you have a little bit more control over the speed of the car. And there's obviously a lot more that you can go mess with inside of those settings. I just wanted to give you the very basics so you know how you can go and change it and change how it drives basically. But anyways guys, that's going to be it for this tutorial. I hope you guys found it helpful, and it might have been a little bit difficult for you guys. I know I don't usually make tutorials that are this complex. I try to keep it simple with you guys just to go and show you guys how to do things. But if you guys did find this video helpful, I would appreciate if you dropped a like and subscribe to me. We are now at, I think, 350 subscribers, which is pretty impressive because I've almost doubled my channel size in the last 6 months. So hopefully we can just go and continue on doing that. Anyways guys, see ya.